back before the end of the world, when summers were normal, my family in Ohio and I, and all of the other Georgia relatives, would meet somewhere closer to the Mason Dixon line and go collectively on vacation together. Usually the spots were some sort of cave or water park because the majority of the time we were invested in entertaining all of the 40,000 children and little cousins that all of my cousins have begat. And I don't have any children myself because I'm that cousin. Um, anyway, one year, about 5 years ago, which now feels like a million years ago, um, we went to West Virginia, and in addition to the pizza parties and the water parks and all of that, they actually planned an event for the adults to do, which was, I mean, besides go to a bar, my aunt and my uncle and my cousin Holly asked if I wanted to join them going zip lining through a gorge with my brother, Danny. Um, and so we did go zip lining through a gorge. The reason that they asked me and didn't think that I would really want to do it is because I am disabled and generally not much of a risk taker. I was always a fraidy cat child who wouldn't get on roller coasters. I still don't get on roller coasters because it looks like I'm about to pee and cry at the same time. Generally, if any amount of stress or strain is set to take place. However, as I've gotten older and spent more time in hospitals dealing with hip replacements or blood clots in my legs, things like that, I realized that ziplining through a gorge is something that you may as well do while you can, because as we know nowadays, you can die just from walking around. So I walked with my aunt, my uncle, my brother, and my cousin up to the side of a canyon where we went on a zip lining trail which composed of which involved 8 different zips just through the air over trees and open nothingness. I am a fraidy cat. I am a fraidy cat. This is not the best idea. Um, we had a guide. It was this big bear of a man, red hair, just muscles. His name was Brent. He was lovely. He helped me put my harness on. Um, and anyway, so once I have the harness on, you hook yourself up to a wire, just hanging out over endless nothing. If it's incorrectly attached, you will die. Painfully die. Just die. Um, but I was with my brother, so I figure if he can do it, then I'm going to, because we still have that rivalry thing going on. So my brother and I are both hooked up and we decide to just let ourselves go. And he is a strong, athletic, normal person. So he was perfectly all right, just taking in the thrill of it. I used words that I can't really say on this video. I used words that my aunt was shocked by. But because I was zooming away from her, it basically just sounded like, fa, and then it was fine. Until you had to later climb a rope bridge, barely hanging over a canyon, to get to the next stop. You zoom out over the canyon, you're trying to get used to it. You never get used to the fear and the thrill and the sheer audacity of stepping out into a void, hoping that you're okay. But really, if something bad is going to happen, you are at the mercy of it. You just have to let things go. There were other people in the tour group with us. There's this couple who, like a boyfriend and girlfriend, who, I gotta tell you, they probably did not last past this trip. She was high maintenance. I don't really remember her name, so I'm just gonna call her Karen. Seems fitting. And her boyfriend was just a jerk. Every time she felt the least bit nervous or the least bit scared, which got even worse as the zips became more and more treacherous, as the climbs became higher and higher. And I just started to develop this audacity because I was a week out of the hospital from a blood clot when I decided to just risk my life flying out over everyone and trees and whatnot. We get to the last drop, which was literally called the drop because it dropped you like 40 feet directly down. Someone might need to check my math, but it felt like 40 feet directly down. Then it had a dip in it, and it would then throw you momentarily into the air. And Brent, the tour guide, told me, some people, they like to do a flip once all this is over. And I'm like, I ain't doing no damn flip. But Karen did not want to do this at all. And her boyfriend was berating her. He called her chicken, which is not the way, even though I'm gay, not the way to get a woman to do something, I believe. So, right before I was about to let go, as my wire is dangling over the drop, right before I decided whether or not I was going to do a flip, I asked Karen to come over to the ledge where I was sitting, and I said to her, "You're going to want to do things like this. You're going to want to have adventures. You're going to want to take risks. And the reason is because every single one of these events gives you a story to tell. You're going to want to tell your grandchildren this. Not with that guy, but you're going to want to tell your grandchildren when you have them this. And you're going to want to be the hero of your own story. You're going to want to be daring." And I said, "Karen, a week ago I was in a hospital. A week ago, I didn't know that I was going to be walking around or able to do any of this at all. I was scared, but now I'm with my family, and now I'm jumping around from mountain to mountain. I get to be the hero. I get to tell the story. You're going to want to do things like this, I said right before I let go. I said, this is living. And then I did a flip.